All right, man. So day 2, part 2. So yeah, man, I relearned the use of my right hand over the course of a year. And this is about the time when I discovered dating, like pickup, basically. I found an ebook online called Double Your Dating, written by a guy called David D'Angelo. About 18, 19. I remember I come across the advert, and the advert says, everything you know about dating is wrong. I was like, really? Everything I know about women is wrong? All right. But he had a free sample of the book. So I read this sample. I don't know how much it was, but I read it and I was like, whoa. Then I bought the book. It was like an ebook. So I buy the ebook. I devoured that ebook over the course of an evening. It was a book. Like, it was a book, but I was like, whoa. Oh my God. Everything I know about women is wrong. Cocky and funny. Oh my God. How the hell have I not been listening to what these rappers were saying? Crap. So then I got into this stuff, but the thing is, back then, it wasn't like there is today. See, like today, you got YouTube. So for instance, like you're watching this on YouTube right now. There was no YouTube back then. It's like 2001. So all I had was this book. So I read the book. I mean, I probably could have done a strict Google search and found some other stuff, but yeah, I guess I didn't think it's like I had the book. I read the book again and again and again. And honestly, I thought that what I got in that book was all I needed to know. But that book, great as it was, didn't really speak about the inner game per se. It more told you like specific things to do. And that stuff did actually work. It really did. I remember the first time I went to a club and I said whatever to a girl. You know, I said something cocky and funny. I can't even remember what it was. But I remember the way she looked at me. This girl just looked at me like I was the sexiest man on earth. And I was like, whoa, this actually works. Whoa. And I learned this stuff for a bit. And then I ended up getting into a relationship. So now this is the thing. Inside, I'm still the same person. I still hate myself. I still feel like the world doesn't understand me. I'm still scared. I'm still lonely. I'm still everything. It's just that I've learned a few techniques, you know, a few little techniques to use in certain situations. And they worked, but they didn't come from like a deep inner place. And because they didn't come from a deep inner place, well, when I wasn't using the techniques, you know, I was back to being me. And I was still lonely. I was still scared. I was still everything. Ended up getting a girlfriend, like the first girlfriend I ever had. Honestly, she was a complete bitch, and she was. Like, she genuinely was. She was a bad person. I don't know if she's like this now, because this is almost 20 years ago, but she wasn't great. She really wasn't. But, you know, she was miserable, I was miserable, and together, we were miserable together, you know. Long distance relationship. I'm in that relationship for years. Shouldn't have been there. We argued all the time. To be honest, I made her cry once or twice. She made me cry a lot. Honestly, when she spoke, I was either bored, like just hearing her talk either bored me or pissed me off, because if she wasn't angry, she just wasn't interesting. And when she was angry, she was horrible to be around. Honestly, like, in the years I spent with her, I can think of one moment that genuinely made me smile. But this is what you put up with when you're scared of being alone, and when you honestly deep down don't think you can get anyone else. And the truth is, that's how she felt as well. That's why she stayed with me. I mean, I wasn't great. You know, I wasn't great. We stayed with each other because we were miserable. Funnily enough, I actually left that relationship. I'd like to say I left that relationship because I realised that I deserved better, and I kind of did. I mean, I always knew that I needed better, but there was this situation where I thought I might get with another girl, and then that gave me the confidence to actually leave this girl. As it happened, I didn't get with that other girl at all, but it is what it is. So anyway, I leave her, and it's like I'm single. Now, at this point, we're in like 2010 or so, and now we're getting into the modern era now, because now we've got YouTube, and now there's all manner of stuff. Like RSD was around at this point, and there was loads of material about seduction, and I dove into it. I did. But here's the thing, I was all about routines. So, you know, there's the inner game and the outer game. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm really big on the outer game. But the outer game, from what I have seen, like outer game techniques, and they're great and they work, don't get me wrong, but their purpose is to give the impression of you having a strong inner game. So if you walk up to a woman and you use some neg or a disqualifier or whatever, and her attraction increases, she doesn't go, oh, this man's used an awesome technique. She's like, oh wow, this is a man who's like got a rock solid like sense of self. He's really grounded, he's really secure, he's really funny, he believes in himself. She thinks all of that stuff as a result of you using that technique. Once I realized, let me go back a little bit. So I had a huge list of stories that I would say to women, you know, because again, like, I'm hiding from myself, you know, I don't really like myself, I'm not good enough, and on my own, I'm not enough. And like, I knew that intrinsically on a deep level, I just knew I wasn't enough. So what I had to do was I had to hide. I had to hide behind stories, and that's what I did. I had a huge directory of stories in my phone. Some of them were real things that happened, and some were just completely made up. I had a huge directory of stories. So I would be out, and let's say I meet some girl, and like I'm talking to her, and then I don't know what to say. So I would tell her a story. I'd like look in my phone and be like, oh, dolphin story. Okay, great. So then I would tell her the dolphin story, and she'd be laughing. I like the dolphin story might carry me for about 5 to 10 minutes. Like, who, you know, it's a story. And then she'd be laughing. Oh, okay. And then that would buy me some time. And then I'd look at my phone and then tell another story. That's what I did. You know, just hiding, you know, because if I knew what to say, I was good. But if I didn't know what to say, I was bad. It's like, you know what? I've always been good at public speaking, even back in this period, even when I was like 17, because public speaking is, I'd plan what I was going to say beforehand and then I'd say it. And if I knew what I was going to say, I've got no problem with like standing on stage in front of 500 people, 1,000 people and saying it. It's because I know what I'm going to say. But in a conversation, you don't know what you're going to say. You're just like, in that moment, you have to come up with something. And that was what was hard. So yeah, man, I'm coming up with all of these, I've got all these stories and stuff, and that's how I would hide. And I ended up seeing some girl. I don't know how long I saw her for. This happened to me a couple of times, actually. This didn't just happen once. But anyway, seeing some girl. Now, what happened was, so I've got a list of stories. So let's say for argument's sake, I've got 20 stories, for argument's sake. So I'm seeing the girl, and then I'm slowly running through my stories. Don't ask me why I didn't just come up with new stories. Don't ask me why, I'm not sure. But over a period of a month or however long it was, I worked my way through all of my stories, and then I reach a point where I've actually run out of stories. Then when I've run out of stories, it's me. Then when it's like, oh my God, crap, Kieran, it's you. I'm freaking out, and I go into my head, and I'm just being weird again, and it's all, you know, I don't know what to say. And to the girl who's with me, that must have been the craziest thing in the world for her, because this guy who was like really cool, really confident, really whatever, just done a complete 180. It's like you've gone from being the most attractive man in the world to the most unattractive, because I'm now totally in my head. I'm now totally insecure. I don't know what to say, and I'm just being really weird. And I ended up losing, I lost a couple of girls, really. And it was not even just the fact I lost them, but like seeing the change as like they slowly start to disrespect you, and you can see the way that they are towards you, just like you see the respect evaporating. I remember one time I was with this girl, and it actually bothers me to this day now, like thinking about this. I remember we were at my brother's house in like one of his spare bedrooms upstairs. And I said something to her, and like I was like really shy and nervous, and I didn't know what to say, and I said something that came out really stupid. And I remember the way she looked at me, like, what manner of absolutely stupid fucking dumb thing did you just say? I remember that, and like, ugh, like, didn't like that at all. But I didn't really see it then, you know. It's one of those things where you don't really notice it until afterwards. Anyway, so I lost some girls. Like, you lose these girls, you're walking around the streets and you're just like in pain, you're just angry, you're miserable. It's just like you're pissed off. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is actually going on? Then that's when I realized that actually it was about me, and it wasn't enough to have stories. I needed to actually work on myself, you know. That's what I realized. And this has been another 10 minutes or so. Yeah, it's been over 10 minutes. Alright then, I guess this is going to be a 3-part video, gentlemen. Hold on to your hats, because there's another part coming tomorrow.